the language of the heart. The language of the heart, the language of light, the rich, rich language of silence. The heart that knows, the heart that knows itself. Rests in stillness, in silence, just simply being. The self that has no will other than divine will. Being here in the silence that is the heart, the silence that is the self, just simply being. The language of light. Simply being here. Underneath the appearance, the being, the heart that simply is. It is not about looking for something that is not already here. It's not about achieving something. It's about letting go of everything that the mind thinks, where thoughts subside and there is true silence. There is self. There is realization of self. And every thought that says I am not, every thought that says I need, every thought that wants, when they all subside, there is silence and there is no one. And yet here you are in your fullness, in perfection, in a radical, radical openness, wide, wide open heart. Here you are shining, shining as the self that you have always been. You come as someone and you never leave. You never leave. You never leave yourself, and yet the someone that you arrive as is gone. You are no one. You are nothing. Cannot be imagined by the mind. But here you are, empty of all story, empty of all desire, empty and yet full, fuller, richer than could ever be imagined. The emptiness, the being no one, the mind imagines is a blankness, is something lost. That is just a story. To know yourself is fuller than full, richer than rich. It is everything, everything that you have desired, everything that you have wanted, everything that you have longed for, everything that you have wished for, hoped for, dreamed of. and more and more and more. This is the truth of who you are right now, here, this moment. This moment is the fullness that you are. This moment is the fullness of emptiness. This moment is a heart that is so full, so full. There is only love in the fullness of this heart that you are. Only love. This wide open heart, this silent heart. The silence of this heart is the peace that cannot be disturbed, the peace that you are, the peace that has been longed for, is the peace that you are. It is not a mood or a state. It is not something that comes and goes. It is an abiding peace. An abiding peace that is undisturbable, undisturbable in any way. Nothing of the world can disturb the peace of the heart. The peace, the silence, the stillness, the wide open emptiness. It is the infinite, eternal vastness that is the heart. Just being here now. It is not about understanding. It is not about getting somewhere or something. It is just about relaxing so deeply, such a deep relaxation where mind drops into heart. Mind itself relaxes into heart. Mind itself relaxes, surrenders, lets go, and all that remains is heart, wide open. Just simply being here. To come to such a depth of relaxation where there is no wanting, no desiring. But as these words come, there is the recognition and a meeting of yourself, coming into the resonance, coming into the flow, coming into alignment, attunement, where the heart says, yes, yes, this. I remember this is the truth. This is the truth. The heart says, right? The heart, it speaks to itself the language of light. And the heart says, yes, there is light. When the heart knows there is light, not a light that turns on and off. When the heart knows, when the self knows, there is light. The light is the knowing. The light is the luminous, shining self, knowing itself, where there is only one. The self knowing itself. It is not two selves. It is not one self meeting another self and saying, ooh, I recognize you. No, there's one. And where there is only one, the recognition is just a shining light. It is luminosity. It is effulgence. It is a shining light that is brilliance. It is radiance, the radiance of the heart that you are, shining, 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 all by itself, because there is nothing else. Nothing is outside, everything is inside. And so it is the turning of the attention inside. Inside, you find the inclusivity inside. You do not find it by sitting in the world and looking at the life and trying to include everything, trying to create an image of a holistic life. Not as a me. You find the inclusivity, you find perfection inside yourself, in the knowing of yourself. You find inclusivity and perfection in the heart, just simply being. You find belonging. You find what you belong to. Unconditional belonging. It's to find the oneness, where there is only one. And this meeting is in the light, the shining light of knowing, the luminous knowing, being itself. So it is to come to this moment and lay everything down, to lay it all down. Lay what down? Everything, all of it, all things, all thoughts, all ideas, all concepts, all stories, just to lay it all down. How do you lay it all down? You just stop feeding it in this moment, just to be here, to be here so fully, open, here, present, to feel that presence of being here, saying yes to this moment. And in saying yes to this moment, there is presence, and then to recognize this presence as your very own presence. That presence itself has no name, it has no story, it has no ideas and concepts. Presence itself is empty of content. Presence itself is just simply present to its own presence. Notice this, confirm this, be this. This moment, just the presence of being. There is nothing more potent, nothing more alive than this presence. This presence is alive. This presence is life. It is life itself, alive, illuminated, knowing itself. So it is just to be here, just to be here. Let go into the flow, into the language of light, into the language of silence. It is to let go into the resonance as the words come, not to try to understand, not to want to get anywhere, not to want to get away from anywhere, but just to say yes. Feel the resonance, and where you feel the resonance, there is a saying yes in the recognition. Where you feel the resonance, there is the recognition of the being, that the words that are coming are pointing to the true being that you are. There is nothing to do, nothing to get, nowhere to journey to. It's just about being here so fully. Just being here. Matters not what is happening in the play of the world. This moment, the relaxation, this moment, the sanctuary of self, this moment, the sanctuary, where there is just the being, just the wide open heart that knows the infinite, eternal presence, this moment, here now, timeless. We fall out of time. We fall out of location. And there is this open field of consciousness, simply being conscious of itself. Just simply being. Just simply being. As there is a recognition of the resonance, it is to feel, where is that resonance? Where is this truth? Where is this being? Where is this presence? Allow all the attention to just be with the being. For attention to relax away from things, away from the content of experience, and to just be here, to just simply be here. Underneath the moving, changing, there is a silence, a stillness, a presence of being that has always been here, eternal, untouched. This presence has never, ever been affected in any way by the story of the life. This presence just is. This presence is alive as life itself. It is the aliveness of life, just dancing, just simply dancing. Unconditioned, no story, empty of content, life just dances. Just dances. It's utterly free, knowing itself and just dancing, utterly free. There is joy, there is happiness, there is a great celebration in the wide open heart. Every moment is this moment, and this moment is the great celebration. This moment is the glory. This moment is divine. This moment is more sacred and holy than can be imagined. To be in this moment in utter union with your true self, in utter union with love, with joy, with peace, utter union with presence, utter union with yourself, just simply being. Where there is nothing that is wanted, that the felt sense of being is the richest riches that could be imagined, the felt sense of being, is the great celebration. To know yourself, to be yourself, to be resting here in the light of the wide open heart that knows the silence, the stillness. And yet there is an aliveness here in the knowing, and the aliveness is flowing, flowing and flowing in the knowing of itself, flowing as life, unencumbered, unburdened, utter freedom. This is who you are. This is the one true nature. This is the being, being itself. This is the self that is shining, standing alone, knowing itself and shining in that knowing, shining in that knowing. It is to feel yourself here, just in the simplicity of this moment. Feel the presence. Be the presence. Recognize that the presence is simply aware of the moving changing, and yet is not identified with the moving changing. That the presence stands alone, silent, still, simple, free. The surrender that says yes, the surrender of my will to thy will. Recognizing that it has been that way all along, that the whole orchestration is divine. The whole orchestration is divine. And the surrender of my will to thy will is the recognition of this. It is the handing over of the mind and the body to the divine in service, in love, in utter devotion, where there is some recognition that true belonging is to belong to love, to belong to God, to the Mother. It is to belong to that which is unfathomable and beyond understanding. It's the handing over of everything. Starts with the longing, and the longing carries you to a depth of recognizing that what you are longing for is longing for you. And in this recognition, there is this surrender, surrender in devotion, falling into that, falling into that one that is, that one that you are. can only be the way it is. What is just is. You are what is. There is no other way than just this, this, this moment here now. All the meanderings of the mind that imagine this way, that way, all of these possibilities. But the only way it can be is this way. How do you know? Because here it is, this way. The surrender, the relaxation, the openness, the simple receiving of this moment. You are the openness, you are the inclusivity, you are the intimacy of this moment. Knowing yourself, true intimacy, the knowing of yourself, the meeting of yourself, so deep, so profound, brings that fullness, that completion, right? Does not even matter where you are in the unfolding. To know yourself, it feels so complete. You feel so complete because you, let's say the me always feels like there's something missing. The me is always lacking and focused upon what is missing. When you come to the being, when you come to this moment, there's a feeling of wholeness, a feeling of being complete, even though on some level there could be a sense, well, of course, there's more falling into the divine, that's never going to end, and at the same time, such a completeness. It's like a circle that has been completed. And that's because the story of me and the accompanying taste of something missing has gone. The wholeness, the feeling of complete in this moment, it's here. It's not a journey. It's just a relaxation. It's a relaxation out of that surface layer of story where it's not enough, and I'm not enough, and I'm not lovable enough, and I'm not ready. And all of the other stories that the mind comes up with, that in the relaxation of mind, there is a finding of the wholeness that has always been here. And the wholeness lacks nothing. The wholeness cannot have anything taken away. The wholeness can give all of itself, and yet it is still whole. The wholeness that you are can give everything. Its love, its happiness, its joy, its exuberance, its awe, its wonder, its glory, and yet it is still whole, never diminished, never tainted in any way. This is the wholeness that you are right now. This is the feeling of complete in this moment, where there are no thoughts. Wholeness is here. This is the self, wholly whole, holy whole, holy wholeness. Holy fullness, holy completeness, richness, a richness of just the great exhale, a feeling there is nothing missing. In this moment, There is nothing missing. To be the being, to feel yourself here now, the heart, the openness, the simplicity, the stillness, the silence, the freedom. Nothing missing. Nothing missing. This moment, the fullness of yourself. Nothing missing. Just to confirm the felt sense, nothing missing. To feel it, relish it, drink in the nectar of your own fullness, your knowing. In this moment, nothing missing. It is not about trying to convince the mind, because if there's anything trying to convince the mind, it's the mind. It's an interceptor. The self does not try to convince anyone or anything because it only knows itself. Okay, so let's play spot the interceptor. If there's anything attempting to create, imagine, or make anything be anything other than it is, it's the mind. It's the interceptor. It's a mood. Come on now, relax, feel yourself. You are here now. You are the being. That's the mind. Let go and be here. Be here. Stop thinking about dinner and just be here. Come on, get with the program. You're in Satsang. Be present, right? That's the mind. That's the interceptor. Underneath all of that, the being is here. So let's fall deeper. Let's fall deeper. What shines the light? What is aware of the interceptor? What is aware of that mind trying to convince itself? What is aware? Where there is no opinion, where there is no judgment, where there is no mind saying, feel the wholeness, you are complete, you are complete. Do you feel that? You got it, you got it. You are full. You are full. Nothing missing here. Nope, nothing missing here. Feeling pretty good, feeling pretty fantastic in this moment. Yeah. Apart from, if it weren't for, okay, that's the mind. That's the mind. And yet underneath that, underneath that which is aware of the mind's story, there is something so simple and so pristine, untouched, untainted, never, ever been touched or affected by the flow of consciousness that plays as the mind. Right here, the pristine beauty, the pristine light of the heart. Right? Now we're getting somewhere. Silence, simplicity, stillness, pristine. Awareness, just aware of itself. Yes, awareness is aware of the thoughts that come and go. Awareness is aware of body, sensation, tension. Awareness is aware of story. Awareness is aware of everything, every single thing awareness is aware of. And yet awareness is not touched. Solve this and be free. Ooh, that's interesting to the mind. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. Let's solve it. Let's be free. Underneath that, underneath all of the moving, changing, there is a field of presence, a field of unchanging, silent being. And when you come to the felt sense of being, you touch the field. You touch the vastness. You touch the infinite, timeless. Feel it so deeply that as you touch it, you are it. As you touch it, you realize that you are it. You don't turn into something different. It's just that your touch, your seeing, the felt sense, there's a letting go deeply enough that as you touch presence, you are presence. As you touch the felt sense of being, you drop like a stone. Boom. You are being. You remember. You remember. As you touch the peace, you are the peace. As you touch the infinite unboundedness, you are the unbounded freedom, the infinite field. As you touch the now, 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 you are eternal, timeless being. You have never ever been of time. You are more profound than ancient. You are eternal, timeless, pristine, pristine nature. That is the being, that is the self. It is to drop in and in and in. Every time you feel the taste, every time you recognize the resonance, fall in deeper, get closer, come to such an intimacy, drink in the nectar, drink in the sweetness, recognize, remember, this is who you are. Touch the being, be the being, touch the spacious vastness. You are the spacious vastness. Touch yourself, be yourself, be here now, be yourself. It is just to come so fully to being yourself. It's the relaxation into the being. And as you feel the being, let the being swell and dance and fill itself with this knowing, this remembering, this is who you are. This is who you have always been. This truth is the truth that rings like a clear, silent bell. Pristine, pristine, crystal clarity, transparency, right? Seeing is clear seeing. True seeing is the clarity of being yourself, seeing through the cloudy, foggy illusion of separation, and clear seeing the pristine sound of your own heart song. Silence. Silence, singing its own nature. So rich, so full, the divine song. Dancing light, it's the language of light. Fall in and in and in. Relax, relax, relax. Letting go and letting go and letting go. It is just to discover what is already here. Just to discover who you have always been. Just to remember that the great discovery is the most familiar, the most intimate knowing of yourself. The deep remembering when attention relaxes and you are just here now. That which knows is the being itself. The knowing is the knowing of the heart. The knowing is confirmed in the heart. Knowing is confirmed in the being itself. The innermost being, being itself, recognizing itself, remembering itself, wide open as the heart that is love. Love without condition, love without limit, love without restriction or containment, love that is wildly alive, love that just loves. So as these words come, it is just to join in with the resonance. As you feel the resonance, be the resonance. As there is recognition, be that recognition. Be yourself. Be here now. Be the presence. Be the one that you have always been. Right now. There is no future. There is no past. When the mind collapses into the heart, there is a complete silence. A silence that is complete. A silence that is wholeness. A silence that is truth. A silence that is compassion and joy and simple happiness. A silence that is peace. Silence that is freedom. Silence that is healing, true healing. The true healing is to know yourself. The silence that just is everything and yet is nothing, is full and yet is empty, empty of content and full of wisdom, where the intellect awakens out of its need to know and understand and falls in to being the field of intelligence, being the field of wisdom. The field of wisdom is the self-knowledge, the pure knowledge of the self. That is an alive field of intelligence. It's alive, 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 and everything is here. The wisdom that is truth is right here, alive, alive, alive. And in this letting go, of the external and falling into inclusivity, the totality, the fullness, the perfection, the completeness of being. You fall into the stop. You fall into the stop, and the stop is the opening to the infinite, vast field. You are everywhere. You are nowhere. You are everything. You are nothing. You are fullness. You are emptiness. You are freedom itself, ever present, ever free, ever shining as the self. Just to rest. Rest in the silence, in the stillness, in the simplicity of being. And be carried by the silent song. Be carried by the light, the shining light of your own knowing. Drink it in. Drink in the light. Drink in the light nectar and be carried deep, deep into the wide open heart that knows, the heart that is self, that is truth. You have never ever left yourself. You are not even really coming home. You are just remembering that you never left. That you never left. You have always, always been home. Always, always been yourself. It is just the attention that has wandered. But you know, in the presence of now, in this timeless moment, the whole life, it's like you closed your eyes, you had a dream, open them now and remember that you never left. You never left. It's all a dream. It's a dream made of love, made of light. Just to wake up right now. Wake up from the dream. You closed your eyes. You had a dream of a life, of being a character. And in this moment, here now, wake up. Wake up. Dream over. Just to be yourself. Just to remember that you have never left. Do not be lost in the dream for another nanosecond. Just be here. Be yourself. Be the one. Recognize that you have never left. That you have dreamed a life. You have dreamed a dream. But it is not reality. That here now, the felt sense of your own presence is reality. The felt sense of your own presence here now is reality. So alive, so rich, so full, so complete. You can continue to dream a dream. It's one of those dreams that as soon as you fall asleep again, you pick up where you left off. But be awake in the dream. Be awake in the dream. Remember that you have never left. Remember who you have always been. Remember the eternal, infinite nature that is just light and love dancing, and that you are eternally free. Remember, closed your eyes, you had a dream, you dreamed a whole life, and now you are awake and you are free, free as you have ever been, awake in the dream. Being the being yourself, being the one that you have never left, being the one that is complete, that is perfection, that is beauty, that is truth, being yourself right here now, shining, shining, shining in the knowing of yourself. Silence, the language of light, the language of light dancing its freedom, knowing itself, drinking in itself, drinking in light, drinking in the clarity of light, drinking in the brilliance, the radiance of your own heart, coming to this profound intimacy of knowing yourself. So close, nothing between you and yourself. And in this knowing, everything disappears but the knowing, but the self, standing as the self, all there is. Resting here, remembering. The one you have always been. The one that just is. The glory, the light, the truth.